Makers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
White 80. You pop. Right. He's done.
On 1st and 10 is counter.
Check.
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. He lost 6 there on the first down play. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
57 to Mike. 57 to Mike.
Now on 2nd and 16, Roethlisberger. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Trying to lay one up deep. And that will be incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
This is taken around the 12. Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10.
Get up! 180! Check, 55, Mike. And Randall! 55, Mike, guys, 55. We own it!
They'll throw on 1st down with Trubisky. Pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down. Bud Dupree able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Trubisky. He's got it complete to Perkins. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for 3rd down. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Now the 3rd leading rusher in the NFL last year, Todd Gurley. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Here's Jones. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
Well, it certainly appears that in this game, someone has decided they're going to open up their playbook. 1st quarter, and we see that play. I like their style.
Like 80. 57. All right. Let's go, D. Let's go.
Quick throw, complete out wide here to Green. A.J. Green. A big play there on the catch and run. 51 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
They'll run here with counter, and he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. James Conner with touchdown number 8 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This is taken at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division, looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try and at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
Motion, motion, motion.
Back to the ground, this time with Gurley. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Here's Trubisky to throw. Completes it to Davis. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it.
I don't know what was going on there, but the end result, this is going to be a safety. Well, I'm not totally privy to what went on with their offensive meetings, but, Charles, something tells me that one wasn't in the plan.
Yeah, when we had our production meeting, they didn't exactly share that with us, but I'm pretty sure that on the play sheet, the run backwards into your own end zone play was not written down.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They go play action. Trubisky. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Nixon with a 1st down carry. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now 3rd down is looming, a pickup of 2 on 1st down and just 1 yard there.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 3rd down, Trubisky. Forced out to his left. Now he'll turn and throw deep back into double coverage, and it's intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. A throw he probably shouldn't have made, rolling left and then throwing back across the field.
And when you do that and you're rolling towards the sideline, you've cut down your field in a big way significantly, and the guys who play in the 2nd and 3rd level, those linebackers and DBs, they know that, and they know they don't have nearly as much space to cover, and they're hoping you try and throw it back towards the middle.
And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
2nd and 3 at the 15-yard line.
A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3.
Let's go. Check it back, check it back. Nicholas, got spin.
Here's Roethlisberger looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Sean Davis with a pick, and he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
On first down, it's Gurley. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Now Joe Mixon. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
And Bullock will put this one through, and that'll bring him back within a point. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive? And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Play fake to Connor. Now Roethlisberger. He'll get this one to Switzer. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now Ben on 3rd and long. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Trubisky. Open man is Ross, complete. 23 yards the pickup there. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
On first down, Mixon. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Let's go, defense. Let's go.
They toss to Mixon. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 7 yards there and a first down.
How about that run? Picks up a first down. Note the enthusiasm in my voice. Remember, last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I think he's trying to get another one in the fold.
And you talked, watching film, a lot about his form and just hitting the hole, running north and south, as we like to say. And I think he's been doing that a lot recently.
Squaring those shoulders and getting downhill. Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. Play action. Now Trubisky. Uncorks one for Davis. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He made his first, this from 47 yards out. And that is not going to go for Bullock. It's left to the upright, no good, and this score will stay right where it is. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little, and when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate, and in doing so, sent this one off target.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. And that'll set them back 5. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. This will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Here I come. Here I come.